Welcome to the Urban Herald, where our job is to go far beyond the headlines.
We don't just report the news.
No, we dissect the culture, the economy, the tech forces that are, shaping your future. And today, we're doing a critical depth dive
A really critical one.
into an event that was so much more than 3 hours of flashy lights and trailers. We're talking about the Game Awards 2025.
Absolutely. And look, we as the Urban Herald team, we've analyzed everything. The transcripts, the industry reactions, the voting data, and the conclusion is pretty stark.
It's more than just an awards show.
Oh, yeah. TGA 2025 wasn't just a ceremony. It was a genuine cultural referendum. It signaled this profound, undeniable shift in what the gaming industry values.
And critically, what players are demanding.
Exactly. What they demand from the experiences they invest their time and money in.
So our mission today is to give you, our listener, that rich, in-depth analysis of what happened, why these results sent, frankly, shockwaves around the world, and what these shifts really reveal for the future.
We're looking past the hype.
Way past it. We're looking at the strategic implications.
And the central story here, it couldn't be clearer. Or, honestly, more dramatic. The night belonged entirely to independent, uncompromising creative vision.
The big story, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
A debut title from a relatively unknown French studio, Sandfall Interactive, and they just achieved this record-breaking sweep.
A sweep is, I think, an understatement. This title took home Game of the Year and 8 other awards.
8 additional ones.
It converted 9 of its 13 nominations into wins. 9 wins. That wasn't just a win. It was a total, complete cultural dominance over these established multi-billion-dollar franchises.
This is the watershed moment. I really believe that. This is the night when independent creative vision officially and demonstrably just trumped corporate conservatism.
And what's so fascinating to me is that the results weren't split.
No, not at all.
This wasn't a case of, critics loving some obscure indie while the fans rejected it.
Right. The victory was supported by the industry votes, across all the specialized craft categories, and it was echoed by overwhelming fan support.
I thought the field of nominees itself was telling.
How so?
Well, they have a record-setting 3 independent titles up for Game of the Year: Clair Obscur, Hades II, and Hollow Knight. Silksong. That suggests the shift was already happening, doesn't it?
It does, but this outcome it accelerates it massively. The signal is overwhelming. Players are rewarding authenticity, creative risk, and real innovation.
Over the safe, committee-designed sequel.
Exactly. Over those games built on massive risk-averse budgets. And that's the foundation of our whole analysis today. We are seeing the economics of scarcity.
Small budget, high creative focus.
Winning against the economics of excess, massive budgets, diluted focus.
Okay, let's unpack this. For the first half of this deep dive, let's systematically analyze how this happened. We'll break down every major win for Clair Obscur and what it says about game development right now.
Sounds good. And then for the second half,
then we shift gears. We'll look at the massive world premieres, the big announcements that tell us everything about where gaming is headed in 2026 and 2027, and maybe how those big studios are adjusting.
Or how they're scrambling to adjust.
Right. So let's start with the central event, the unprecedented dominance of Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. We have to appreciate the sheer scale of this.
The scope is, it's truly historic. 9 total wins out of 13 nominations. That is a near-perfect conversion rate for a ceremony like this.
On the categories, just listen to this list. Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music.
Those are the pillars, the central pillars of artistic and technical craft.
And it doesn't stop. Best Performance, Best RPG, Best Independent Game, and Best Debut Indie Game.
It's essentially a sweep of every major craft category they were eligible for.
Which sends shockwaves. And for me, it all boils down to one thing.
The budget.
The budget contrast. You have to understand this to get the magnitude of the upset.
Precisely. Our source material notes that Clair Obscur was developed with an estimated $10 million budget.
$10 million.
That number is just staggering when you look at the competition. Titles like Death Stranding 2, Hades II, which is indie but, had a huge operational runway. Right. Hollow Knight, Silksong, Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2. These are games operating with budgets anywhere from $40 million to well over $100 million.
So we're talking about a ratio of investment where the smallest competitor won by orders of magnitude in critical acclaim.
It fundamentally proves that players reward creative, unique vision over sheer marketing spend.
A debut title from a studio with maybe a dozen core people outshone these blockbuster productions designed specifically to maximize commercial appeal. It's incredible.
And it changes the global calculus for investors and publishers. It really does. If a $10 million budget can produce a critical phenomenon that captures the zeitgeist.
Why sink hundreds of millions into something safe?
Why indeed? It validates a leaner, more focused development model.
Okay, let's drill into the craft categories because this is where the story gets really interesting. Starting with Best Game Direction. I find this to be maybe more important than GOTY itself.
I agree. I completely agree. This win signifies that the creative vision of the entire game was just cohesive, ruthlessly integrated.
Direction is the engine.
It is. It drives the whole experience. For Clair Obscur, this meant an almost seamless blending of their core mechanics. It's a turn-based RPG, but the exploration, the puzzles, the narrative, it never felt separate from the combat.
And that's the key technical achievement, isn't it?
Yeah.
They use this dynamic turn-based system where your actions and the world, like interacting with an artifact, would grant you specific, powerful combat resources.
So it unites narrative and mechanics.
Perfectly. It meant that nothing felt extraneous or accidental. Every single system served the central intent of the game.
Which leads you directly into the best narrative win. Contemporary gaming, especially in the big budget space, often struggles with this. It struggles to deliver stories that are both grand in scope and, intimate in their character study.
And Clair Obscur just nailed it. The characters felt, as our sources highlight, remarkably lived in.
They have deep, subtle histories that you uncover through exploration, not just through a cutscene.
And the antagonist, the paintress, she is so central to that depth.
She is.
She transforms what could have been a simple fantasy plot into something genuinely morally complex. The source material emphasizes she isn't driven by malice.
No, it's this profoundly tragic, almost utilitarian motivation. Her goal is to prevent the population from aging past a certain point, to immortalize them in a state of youthful perfection.
So she's stopping decay and death.
But she's also sacrificing true humanity, future potential. And that moral dilemma is stopping suffering worth sacrificing freedom and growth. That's what resonates long after you finish the game.
It makes you, the player, inhabit that moral gray area.
Something a film could never do as effectively.
All right, let's shift to the visuals. Best art direction. It won against some graphical powerhouses.
And it won because of a visual style that our sources call distinctly European. It's a deliberate rejection of that chase for photorealism.
Which so often ends up with graphical fidelity, but no artistic identity. You see that in a lot of American AAA studios.
This is art that is expressive rather than imitative. It looks like it was heavily influenced by, late 19th and early 20th century European painters.
I can see that.
Think Belgian symbolists, the muted palettes, or the strong brushwork of post-impressionism. And that choice directly serves the game's themes of decay, hope, and resilience.
So instead of looking like a heavily processed photo, which costs a fortune in compute power, every location tells a hand-painted story.
Exactly. It looks like unique art, not some photogrammetry asset pack. That choice saved them money, but it paid massive artistic dividends.
And this is where the story of this game just gets better. The win for best score and music. For Laurentius Dart.
This is where it gets really interesting, yeah. The whole democratization of talent narrative.
He was discovered, genuinely, after posting homemade game music concepts on SoundCloud. No industry pedigree at all.
It's an astonishing journey. Imagine going from sharing tracks on a community platform to the Game Awards stage.
And defeating legendary composers. Darren Korb from Hades II, Ludwig Forsell from Death Stranding 2. How does a newcomer even do that?
It was a combination of things. Tezzard's music is described as the game's emotional backbone. It's built around these themes of melancholy and discovery.
Lots of cello and French horn, I heard.
Right, but overlaid with these synthesized ethereal textures. And crucially, the score isn't static. It dynamically adapts to your choices, to the minute-to-minute game states.
So it's not just background music.
Not at all. It's providing deep emotional resonance. And that sophisticated integration just proves superior to the more traditional cinematic scores of the competition.
Let's not overlook the best RPG win either. That's a huge category.
It's profoundly significant. RPGs are traditionally the most ambitious and complex games out there. They demand hundreds of hours of investment.
And now, Clair Obscur is positioned among the genre's most illustrious titles. It beat Avowed, it beat Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2.
Which just validates that Sandfall Interactive created a complex, engaging, and well-balanced system, especially with their innovative turn-based mechanics that surpass games with vastly larger resources.
And finally, the atmosphere. The authenticity of the team themselves, I think that cemented the whole
Oh,
narrative.
for sure.
When the director Guillaume Broche accepted the GOTY award, he wasn't in a tuxedo. He was wearing a bright red beret and a striped T-shirt.
A charming, deliberate nod to their French identity, a total lack of pretense.
And he thanked YouTube tutorial creators.
That small detail says everything, doesn't it?
It really does. He wasn't crediting shareholders or multinational publishing teams. He was thanking the decentralized online community that probably taught him how to use his software.
It's such a powerful contrast to the polished corporate speeches we usually get.
And that authenticity, it resonated. You saw it in Jennifer English's acceptance speech for Best Performance.
Who is now, one of the most decorated performers in the industry.
She's appeared in 3 Game of the Year winners, Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, and now this. And she used that platform for something potent.
She dedicated her award to the neurodivergent community, and she said with just immense sincerity that for them, life is stuck on hard mode.
Using that moment to speak on a marginalized experience.
It says as much about the culture shift as the Game Awards themselves. It shows that the creators being rewarded are the ones with genuine personal convictions.
So, if Claire Obscure was the earthquake, the rest of the awards were the tremors that followed.
A good way to put it. Yeah, the whole show reinforced this theme that industry values are shifting, rewarding diverse gameplay, sustained commitment.
Right. And the strength of indie games went way beyond just the GOTY category. Let's look at the genre awards, starting with Best Action Game.
Which went to Supergent Games' Hades II.
This validates that the roguelike genre has, I think, fully transcended its niche. It's not just for hardcore players anymore.
No, it's a mainstream staple. And the sequel, it successfully expanded on the original by weaving narrative progression and character development through, literally thousands of small, unique interactions.
It turns failure into narrative fuel.
It does. Then you have the big one, the one everyone was waiting for, Hollow Knight. Silksong winning Best Action Adventure.
This felt, as our sources noted, almost ceremonial, a celebration of quality and patience, after years of this obsessive, almost mythical anticipation.
The game finally arrived and immediately proved it was worth the wait.
And the reason it won wasn't just hype. It validated Team Cherry's patience. They prioritized their vision over arbitrary deadlines.
And the result is a masterclass in Metroidvania design. A nonlinear world that rewards curiosity and precision. It really set a new bar.
We also saw powerful recognition for sustained commitment, which is so crucial in the live service era.
Which brings us to No Man's Sky winning Best Ongoing Game.
One of gaming's most remarkable redemption arcs, from that controversial launch to a massive success story.
It's a huge lesson in community relations. After that troubled launch in 2016, Hello Games didn't abandon it.
No, they committed to 6 years of dedicated, free, post-launch support. Updates like Foundation and Beyond completely transformed the game.
And that transformation validates that sustained excellence and genuine player care matter far more than just a big launch week.
It's about cultivating a respectful relationship with your players.
A lesson every publisher building a live service game needs to learn.
On that topic of commitment, we saw a crucial win for accessibility.
Right. Doom, the Dark Ages won innovation in accessibility.
And this is so important because it shows that even the biggest, most high-octane blockbuster titles can implement comprehensive accessibility features without compromising the core experience.
It normalizes it. Features like Doom for All Slayers with detailed control remapping, sophisticated colorblind modes. It all demonstrates that accessibility is innovation. It's not a burden.
And when a franchise like Doom does it, it encourages smaller studios to follow. Now, let's look across the genre diversity, which also speaks to the industry's health. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves won Best Fighting Game.
Confirming the genre's powerful renaissance, yeah.
Then Final Fantasy Tactics, The Ivalice Chronicles for Best Sim Strategy.
Which I love. It shows there's still a hunger for slow, thoughtful, complex games. A real contrast to all the fast-paced action.
And of course, Nintendo did its thing. Donkey Kong Bonanza for Best Family, Mario Kart World for Best Sports Racing.
They always manage that delicate balance of being accessible for newcomers but having an insanely high skill ceiling for veterans.
Moving beyond games, The Last of Us. Season 2 took Best Adaptation.
Which just confirms that we're finally seeing a genuine progress in transitioning these complex game narratives to premium television.
After years of adaptations ranging from mediocre to, well, disastrous.
Now they're getting the serious high-budget treatment they deserve.
Okay, here's a point of divergence that I think speaks volumes about the health of the industry. the conflict between critical acclaim and fan preference.
Right. The critic's darling was obviously clair obscur. It swept the professional categories.
But the fan-voted player's voice winner, that was Wuthering Waves.
The open-world action RPG from Kuro Games, which has a massive global audience, especially in China.
And that divergence is incredibly healthy.
I think so too. It shows that player preferences often capture qualities that reviewers might overlook, like community experience or sheer regional popularity.
So while Clair Obscur delivered an artistic masterpiece, Wuthering Waves delivered an ongoing source of mechanical satisfaction and social engagement.
And that tension prevents the culture from becoming too insular. It reminds us that both artistic ambition and pure shared enjoyment have immense value.
Finally, before we look to the future, the TGA Game Changer Award went to Girls Make Games.
A vital investment in the industry's future. The organization is dedicated to empowering girls aged 8 to 18 in game design.
And the sources highlight that diverse teams just create more diverse and ultimately more successful products.
Exactly. By supporting this, by giving young girls the tools and confidence to code and design, you're ensuring the next generation of games will be inherently richer, more creative, and more inclusive. It benefits all of us.
Right. It's a long-term strategy for creative health, not just acquiring existing talent. Okay, so the ceremony wasn't just a look back. It was a powerful launch pad for the next few years. And the big announcements for 2026 and beyond. They reveal how the big studios are reacting to this change.
They're emphasizing narrative, agency, and brand heritage.
Starting with what was arguably the biggest RPG announcement of the night.
Star Wars. Fate of the Old Republic.
A brand new AAA single-player action RPG set in the Old Republic era, directed by the legendary Casey Hudson.
Hudson, the visionary behind the original Kochihar and the Mass Effect trilogy.
His involvement brings instant credibility.
It's a direct response to years of fan demand for narrative-driven Star Wars experiences, something that had been largely neglected in favor of live service attempts. The strategic intent is clear. Restore trust by putting a proven, narrative-focused director back in the driver's seat.
And then we saw a very calculated strategic announcement for another iconic franchise, the dual Tomb Raider strategy.
Announcing 2 games simultaneously, that is a massive declaration of confidence.
And a fascinating way to hedge their bets.
It's a brilliant strategy. First, they announced Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis.
A full reimagining of the 1996 debut.
By updating that classic exploration and puzzle emphasis, they instantly cater to the core nostalgic fan base who miss that slower, more deliberate pace.
But they can't alienate the modern audience. Which brings us to the second title, the mainline sequel, Tomb Raider, Catalyst, arriving in 2027.
Right, set in northern India. This shows confidence in evolving the IP, continuing that faster-paced survival action trajectory of the reboot trilogy. They're targeting 2 different demographics at once. It's smart.
Remedy Entertainment also stepped up. They announced Control, Resonant for 2026.
And Remedy has earned their fan base by never, ever compromising on their distinctive reality-bending vision. This sequel leans right into the lore.
It introduces Dylan Faden as a central figure.
And expands the Federal Bureau of Control's scope into this warped version of Manhattan.
The key mechanical addition everyone is talking about is the shape-shifting melee weapons.
Which is so quintessentially Remedy. It's not just a combat add-on. It incorporates the strangeness of their supernatural bureaucracy directly into the combat.
And then, after the generational success of Baldur's Gate 3,
Larian Studios finally unveiled their next major RPG, Divinity.
A powerful move, returning to their original IP. They're clearly applying everything they learned from Baldur's Gate 3, the reactivity, the player agency, to their own world.
And the ambition is breathtaking. The sources confirm it's slated to be their biggest game ever. Larian is demonstrating that their focus remains squarely on creating these intricate, simulated worlds that reward player experimentation.
Switching to action and horror news. Resident Evil Requiem got a confirmed February release date, and the internet was right.
Leon S. Kennedy is back.
And the strategy is interesting. It's a balance of fan service and genre expansion.
The story intertwines 2 paths. Leon's storyline, which delivers that explosive RE4-style action.
And Grace Grimes' path, which is much more traditional survival horror.
It allows them to cater to both camps of Resident Evil fans.
We also got a new look and a release date for Phantom Blade Zero, September 2026.
And the new gameplay looked incredible, was the word being used. A definite contender for best action in 2026.
And then there was High Guard, the concept that made everyone raise an eyebrow. a free-to-play PvP hero shooter described as Overwatch on horseback.
It is highly unusual. They're trying to combine modern hero shooter design with historical cavalry combat.
But the credibility comes from the team. This is from veterans of Apex Legends and Titanfall.
61 members of that legendary team. Their history of combining fast-paced action with unique momentum-based mechanics. It lends massive weight to this seemingly impossible concept.
And the biggest shock, it's launching in just 7 weeks.
A bold, modern distribution strategy. No long marketing cycle.
Finally, we saw a lot of unexpected celebrity integrations.
The medium's growing cultural cachet right there on display.
Matthew McConaughey was announced as voicing a pivotal character in the sci-fi RPG Exodus.
And the surprise appearance by Lenny Kravitz was huge. He came out live to discuss his villain role, Bama, in IO Interactive's Bond game, Zero Zone 7. First Light.
That shows the caliber of talent being drawn into gaming narratives now.
Gaming is attracting talent that traditionally only went to premium film and television. You even saw it with the Street Fighter movie cast reveal, Jason Momoa as Blanca.
Right. It confirms the cultural crossover is just getting stronger.
So let's bring this all back. Let's synthesize.
Back to the core finding that defined the Game Awards 2025. Our deep dive confirms this was not a normal awards show. It was a defining moment of transition.
Absolutely. The ceremony rewarded passion, vision, and the willingness to innovate. It established authenticity as the ultimate measure of success, whether that comes from a massive publisher or a small debut studio like Sandfall.
Clear Obscure's dominance just proves that talent and dedication can overcome resource limitations.
Oh, really can.
So what does this all mean for you? As a player, as an aspiring creator, as someone trying to understand where entertainment is going? The Clear Obscure victory is permission. It's permission for every creator, big or small, to take risks, to follow their own instincts and refuse to compromise on a unique artistic voice.
It's validation that genuine craft is what history will remember and reward, not bloated budgets or committee-designed safe sequels. The industry, through the collective voice of critics and fans, has signaled its direction.
We're moving past the era where size equals quality.
We are.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought for you to chew on this week. If a $10 million debut, turn-based RPG can sweep the Game Awards, establishing itself as the new standard for art direction, narrative, and score, why should we continue to accept risk-averse, committee-designed blockbusters?
The era of safe AAA is demonstrably fading.
Players now expect a personal, uncompromising creative vision in every game, and TGA 2025 show they will reward the courage to deliver it. The question is, who will be brave enough to follow Sandfall Interactive's lead in 2026?